Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having an awesome start or an awesome middle to your day. Y'all, let's do some super cute skinny crafting. Stay tuned. So again, I want to welcome everyone who has subscribed to my channel recently, and for those of you who are interested in participating in my awesome 2-year anniversary Great Pumpkin Challenge, make sure that you are a subscriber so that you can participate in the challenge. I'll link that video below so that you will know the details of the challenge if you're interested. So today, guys, we are going to make seasonal skinny notepads, and they are so stinking cute. When you open them up, you've got this little mini skinny notepad, and the notepad measures 6.5 by 2.5. I will have a link in the description box to where I purchased my skinny notepads. Now, I bought mine back at the beginning of the summer, maybe the end of the spring, and they were on sale. But what I like about these notepads, they all have a bird theme, but they are themed for the seasons. So I was able to pull my red cardinal and use them here for Christmas or winter. And then I have this sweet little bird here that has acorns all around it, and I was able to use that for my autumn notepad. Now I am going to make 2 more notepads with you guys, and then we're also going to make a holder for these. So for those of you who might want to sell these at craft fairs, or you might just want to give a set as a gift, we are going to have a holder that will hold all 4 seasons. All right, so to make our project, today I'm only making 2, but when you're making yours, you are going to need 8 pieces of medium weight chipboard, or if you want to double up on cereal boxes, mac and cheese boxes, whatever you have, you're going to need 8 pieces cut at 2 5/8 by 7. Then you're going to need 4 pieces of some decorative type cardstock or plain cardstock that you might want to dress up. And then you're going to need something to make your box. And I'm using, it's almost a heavyweight piece of cardstock. It's very sturdy, so it will hold my box shape very well. And this piece measures 10 by 11 3/4. So let's make our beautiful, beautiful little project. So I am going to bring in my trimmer, because the first thing that we're going to need to do is trim down so that we can cut out the pieces that we'll need to cover our book. So the first thing that we need is a piece that measures 8 by 6.5. And then you're going to have this piece left over. Make sure you keep it, because this will be the inside of your book. But you need to take this and trim it down from 8 inches to 6 3/4 of an inch. So that is going to leave you with a piece that measures 5.5 by 6 3/4. And then you will have your 6.5 by 8 inch piece. And these are the 2 pieces that you will need to cover the outside and the inside of your book. And of course, you're going to be left with some scrap, and because this is such a big piece, we wouldn't throw it away because we can use it. All right, guys, so I have my 2 pieces of 6.5 by 8 inch cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and do this assembly style. So I am going to remove the double-sided tape that I have added to the backs of my chipboard pieces. And when I'm making multiples of anything, this is the process that I follow. I typically do it assembly line style. So what I'm going to do here is take my piece. I am placing it about 1/2 inch from the edge. Then I'm going to take my second piece, and when I place it down, I am going to place it down about 1/2 inch from the edge, making sure that I've got that top and that bottom nice and straight. And then we'll go ahead and place our other piece. So I'm going to place that down. And then I'll take this piece and place it down as well. Then I'm going to flip both pieces over and just get them nice and stuck with my handy dandy big old spatula. Then I'm going to take my stylus, go around my edges, and by going around my edges, basically all I'm doing is taking the bulb of the stylus, pressing it against the chipboard, and then just driving down into the paper. Doing this will help to minimize cracking in your paper. It might not eliminate it, but it will help to minimize it. So I am going to do the same thing over here. And I had a request from one of you to actually show desk management, how I actually have my desk set up when I'm working. I am going to do that video. I just haven't done it yet. So all I'm doing at this point is just taking my edges here and getting them ready to be folded over. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I am just going to miter my ends. And I find that assembly line crafting, when you're making multiples, really is the most efficient way, because you're doing the same step at the same time multiple times, and that way you're not fumbling and looking for tape, scissors, whatever it is you might need to use at that point. So now that we have this, what I am going to do is I am going to take my glue, go ahead and place my glue on all four edges of both pieces. And we're going to get these stuck down. Move that one out of the way for just a minute. And I'm just going to stand this up and do a wrap around. And I'll just go ahead and put that pressure on it with my big old spatula just to make sure I get a temporary stick, and then I'll go back and make that stick permanent. Okay, so then I'm going to go around with my spatula, get everything nice and stuck. I can see where I cut a little bit short there. I'm not even going to worry about it. Whenever I'm crafting and I make a mistake, I either keep it to use it for myself, or I have people who don't mind taking my seconds. I don't sell them. I would just rather give them away if they have obvious imperfections, and people don't mind taking something with obvious imperfections. Okay guys, so once we have these down, I am going to go ahead and take my double stick tape and I am going to place a piece right here. And a piece right here. And I'll do the same thing over here. So let's place a piece on both ends. I'm not going all the way up to the top because I don't want to run the risk of having my tape extend beyond where that liner piece is going to be. And then I'll just smooth that out. So I'm going to lift up this tape from both. And so now that I have my tape lifted, we are going to bring in the 2 liner pieces. And what I'm going to do on these liner pieces, because as you can see, I didn't place any tape right there. I am just going to take a strip of tape and place it right in the center. And that's going to make up for where I did not place my tape. So when I am putting down the inside liner piece, I'm actually using the back side of it as the inside liner. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to lift up my tape on both, and then I am going to take my glue, place my glue along the edges of the back, and I'm going to share with you guys a little mistake I made when I was moving my second liner piece. I'm going to place some more glue. As I was moving my second liner piece, I accidentally stuck it to this piece. So now I tore it, and that's okay because I'll just pull another piece of scrap that I have and use it as my inside liner. So what I have here is I have laid down that liner piece. Then I'm going to use my big old spatula as well as my paper towel just to get that liner stuck. Then I am going to make sure that I come in and I go in and define where the spine actually is. And I'll do this on both sides. So then once I have my spine, I can turn it over like this, take my big old spatula, go along the back, get that stuck, and then just to make sure that I have a nice crisp spine, I'll then lay it down and go over my spine, front and back, just to make sure that I have it nice and crisp. And so now I have my sweet little notebook cover. I am going to get another piece to cover this, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have another scrap piece that I'll be using on the inside of this, and it measures 5.5 by 6 3/4. I am going to take my glue because I've already added tape right in the middle, so hopefully you can see that sheen. I am going to take my glue, run my glue along the edges, and we are going to get this stuck to our cover here. So I have that, I'm placing it down. I use my paper towel just to get that glue stuck initially. Then I'll use my big old spatula to move that glue around. And then I'll do the same thing. I will come in and define where the spine is. I'll rotate it to the opposite side. Do the same thing. Because you really want to make sure that you have a nice, crisp spine on this. Then I can take this, use my big old spatula to go along the back and really define that spine. Then I'll lay it down and really get it nice and crisp. And so now we have our 2 books. And here are the 2 notepads that I'm going to be using. This notepad here is my spring notebook, and this one is summer. So I am going to take this one because it's full of flowers, and I'm going to place it right there. And I am going to use a one and done method. So I am going to place my glue on the back, and I'll take this and I'm going to place it down fairly close to the spine, close it, and you can see how nice that looks. So then once I have it placed down, I can just lift up, go to the back, make sure that's nice and stuck, and then we'll do the same thing with our summer book. So I am just taking my glue, going to place it inside just like that. Check it to make sure I have it where I want it. Then I can lift up and just work that glue in. So now I have my two books, one for spring, one for summer. So what I'm going to do, guys, is what I love to do, and that is to decorate with stickers. So I am going to take this sticker here that says Always Sunshine, and I am going to place it right there, but I want that to stand up a little bit. So I am going to bring in some scrap chipboard and place that sticker on the scrap chipboard. Then I am going to find my sticker for summer, and I like this fun in the sun. So I am going to take that, place it down on my chipboard because I want it raised. And then I'm going to use my finger blade just to trim these out. You can place your stickers down flat if you want. I just like the elevation of having that chipboard on there. So I'm just trimming these out. And I am not going to go through the trouble of trying to go through each one of those little grooves there with this medium weight chipboard. So basically, I am just going to trim it off because I don't want to even try to be that neat with that. So I've got that trimmed off. We are going to go ahead and trim off our spring sticker. So I am just going to go through the straight part first. And just putting these stickers on here for me, it just adds so much. And I got these stickers from Scrapbook Creations when I went on my road trip to Spartanburg, South Carolina. So now that I have the straight part cut, I can use my scissors to just come back in and cut off the rounded edge. Okay, so now that we have our stickers cut out, I am just going to use my little board here to just go around, and I want to take some of that color off of that sticker. So I am just using this little emery board and basically removing some of the color to bring out some of that white in the paper. And how much you take off is completely up to you. And I'll do the same thing with this one. Just go along those edges, take off some of that color. And so now, guys, we have our two little pieces of ephemera that we just created using stickers and medium weight chipboard. And that's going to be so cute because it's going to sit up. This one goes over here. So I am going to take my Reptile Glue, place some glue on the back. You could even pop it up further with pop dots if you wanted to, but I think having the chipboard is enough raised area. So I'm going to take that and just put it right there, just like that. And now we have our season of spring, and we are going to enter summer. So I'm going to take my glue, place it on the back, and I think that is super cute. I love the colors of it. So we have created skinny notebooks for all seasons, and this is just such a cute way to either give a gift or to keep it for yourself if you want to be trendy and stylish. So when it's spring, you grab your spring skinny notebook, and when we transition into autumn, pull out that autumn notebook. So stylish, so ahead of everyone else. I am going to take my books and we are going to create a nice little holder for these. All right guys, so to make our box for the 4 awesome notebooks, we are going to need the piece that measures 10 by 11 3/4, and on the 10-inch side we are going to score this at 1 3/4, at 4 3/4, at 6 1/2, and at 9 1/2. Then we're going to rotate it to the 11 3/4 inch side, and make sure that wherever you want the bottom of your box to be, this is where you make the score at 1 3/4. So I've got a score at 1 3/4. Then I'm going to score at 9, and then I'll score at 10 3/4. So I am going to take my box and I am going to fold and burnish all of the scores. And I tried to find some paper that was somewhat neutral, but then when I saw this paper in the bicycle, I couldn't help but use it. And this paper, I believe, is from a Die Cuts with a View notepad, but I don't know the name of it because I intended to use it on a project a while back and I tore it out of the pack and I placed it in my bin that I store papers that I think I'm going to use for the week. And unfortunately, I cannot tell you what the name of it is, but I believe this is from Die Cuts with a View. So if anyone out there knows, please leave it in the comments where this is from. So what we need to do first is we need to get rid of these corner pieces. So the first thing that I'll do here at the bottom is I'll go ahead and angle in on that and then remove that. Here at the top, then go up to that second score mark, drag down, and remove this piece. Then I will go along the bottom, and everywhere that I have a score mark, and here's my score mark, I am simply going to angle on both sides. And that's all I'm doing when I say angle cut on both sides of the score. So now we have this. We're going to rotate it to this end. This is the top because we have this smaller flap that'll fold in and this will fold over. So we're going to go up to that second score mark and drag straight down. So now that we have our box like this, we can take it and pretend fold it. So wherever that flap, that seam is, that's the back of your box. Just take this piece and move it out of the way because it's this piece here that we want to get to, and we're going to take that piece and just fold it inside. So I will take my glue, place glue on that piece, place it down, And that just gives us a nice finish to where we're going to be folding that piece in. So now we're going to have these two pieces right here that we need to deal with. And we have our score mark here. I am going to reduce this by going above that score mark and taking off a little more of that paper. So I'll do the same thing over here. Then I'm going to take this piece, angle in, take that piece, angle in, do the same thing here. And now we have our box that is almost ready to be put together. But if you have a corner rounder, you need to round this piece here. If you don't, here's how you can make sure that your box closes nice and smoothly. Just go up to the score mark, don't go above it, and just take off a sliver, not a lot. And when I say a sliver, I really do mean a sliver, about that much. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I am just taking off a tiny little bit. So now we can take our box and we can put it together. So I'm going to take my glue, place my glue on my glue flap, and just fold it over onto this piece. And guys, we have created another super sweet flat fold box. So now that we have our box like this, we are going to take this piece and just raise it up because that's the front. We're going to fold in those bottom flaps, place some glue on those bottom flaps, fold up the back flap. Now we'll take our glue and place our glue on that flap and close it. And for those of you who are new to box making, the reason why we do that in that order is because when you have your box like this, you want all of the seams to be in the back and you want the bottom seam to be going backwards so that everything looks nice and smooth. So I am going to take my big old spatula and just smooth that out. This is perfect for colognes, perfumes, candies, whatever you want to put in it. This is a great little box. So I am going to take this and close it. Now if you notice that you're having any resistance closing it, and I am, that means that you need to just come back and on your flap, I am just going to angle in a little bit more than I did. So I'm just going to lay this down, bring in my finger blade. So I needed to go in and just widen that angle just a little bit more so that my lid would actually go in. So now we're going to take our 4 books, Moment of Truth, and is that not a near perfect fit? Yes, it is. So I'm going to take my lid, close it, and now I have my books in the box. And I am going to find something that I want to put on the front. And I am going to go with one of these inspirational planner stickers that basically says, "It's a good day to be happy." So I'm going to open that up so I can press that down. And you guys can see just how cute this is and how easy it was to make and to fit all 4 of our seasonal skinnies in our own custom skinny packaging. So sweet, so stinking cute. So I'm going to tuck these back on the inside, and like I said, this box size is perfect for so many other things other than just the books that I'm putting in it. And another thing that I wanted to point out, I get a lot of questions about how to use papers that have odd placement of the graphic. This is a perfect example. This paper had the bicycle at the very bottom. And look at how this works. And just by using it, I have a wraparound of the bike from the front to the back. And then I have this cute little pattern on the bottom. So don't be afraid to use those sheets in your book that may have odd placements of the graphic, because there is a place in our crafting for every one of those sheets of paper that we have in the paper pads that we buy. Don't let them go to waste. So guys, I hope that you have liked this super cute, super fun, and super easy project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, come on, I would love to have you join. So you guys, be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.